In central London, building plots are like gold dust. So when architect Cezary Bednarski stumbled across a vacant site just around the corner from his office, he knew he had to act fast. Notting Hill is a curious mix. Around the corner is Portobello Road with its markets. He bought a small piece of wasteland in Notting Hill, which the local council intended to be a miniature park. How are you planning to make the most of this site?
Well, that's a question. The site is about 100 square meters. And luckily, because of the building across the street, we're allowed to build on the property line on this side. What we are doing at the front, we are going to push the facade forwards to line up with the porch of the building next door.
There must be developers all over London looking at this site,
well,
going like, how did you manage to get that past?
I will tell you that all our developer clients were astonished I was submitting it, and they're astonished we got the permission for this. What you see here is in fact two houses. There's a house at the top, which is 2 stories, 3 bedrooms, living, kitchen, studio for myself, and a large roof terrace, which we have trees planted on top of. And the lower house, which is a living space, kitchen, and 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms in the basement.
What's it like being your own client?
Well, I'll tell you what. Ask me another question. What is it like to be an architect for this client?
You have to remember that this building was totally cutting edge.
I think it's the synthesis of what architecture is about. You know, it really brought it down just to the minimal, what's needed, you know, and this is fascinating.
You've clearly enjoyed coming to see the Farnsworth house.
Yeah, enjoyed is probably not the word, you know, it's almost climactic. You know?
Yeah.
It's extremely sexy experience, you know.
It's a very spiritual building, isn't it?
It is spectacular.
Yeah.
And I must say, you know, I wish I came here 20 years ago, which might have influenced the way I work, although my ethos has always been, you know, light and space rather than bits, which is kind of not fitting very well in Britain. You know, it is obviously something which you couldn't do the same way he's done, but in my perception, you know, what he has done is at the given time there was certain technology available, he used it, but his essence of the game was light and space. And I think in our times you could use our technology and still play the game of light and space.
When Cezary Bednarski took on this project, he faced 2 challenges. The first was to create a comfortable home for his wife and 2 young sons. The second was to design a home that would fit in with this part of London. But actually, there was a third and more complicated challenge: to coordinate British builders. Contrast between a Regency splendour of the terraces and this. How do you feel about that contrast now it's here in 3 dimensions?
I mean, interesting, you know, there is a contrast because of the use of materials, planes and everything else, but if you look at the rhythms, you know, the rhythms of Victorian facades are pretty much similar to what we achieved here.
And how do you feel about this terrazzo now it's in? It feels
it's spectacular.
Beautifully smooth.
I mean, in fact, it's quite amusing because people stop by and ask, what is this building? What is a museum or something? Because nobody, you know, uses this kind of stuff.
I really like the way that the glass has been inserted into this neighbourhood because it's quite a dense area.
It is.
And you see suddenly the sky reflected in the glass. And you get a sense that there's more to this area than just building, road, occasional tree. And it gives you a sense of magic. And this is a good detail, isn't it? Because you've got 2 small boys. So it's interesting to see how you combine good safety with good design.
Sure. I mean, you know, we obviously didn't want to have any grills and meshes and so on, so, you know, glass on glass seems to be a good option.
And also this glass is beautiful, isn't it?
The glass was very interesting because, you know, there was nothing to look at here. And at the same time, we didn't want to be seen as such.
Because an opaque glass would give a very flat feel in here. It would be very inward looking. But this milky glass, you know? It adds more depth, doesn't it? You can't see detail, but you can see movement and general forms. So it really allows this house to just gently move out into the outside wall without giving it,
you know, understanding the context outside.
Such harsh lines. It's lovely. It's got quite a foggy quality about it, hasn't it?
That's right, smoky.
It's really a very exciting building to be part of and to look out into the street beyond. Of course, this is the crowning glory, quite literally, of your house.
It is.
Rooftop.
A windy glory, I must say.
Yeah, a windy city up here, isn't it?
It is rather...
So great, isn't it, though? I mean, you really feel like you're part of the city up here, don't you?
And there's not many others like this, so it's rather nice and private at the same time.
Yeah, I mean, you get these kind of views over other people's buildings and the architecture of the city, but I guess people also see...
Pretty long views, you know. You can see the Westfield, you can see the Wembley Arena. Morning, you have spectacular morning sun coming, you know, the whole eastern facade where every single room and bathroom is facing. So every single space in this house gets morning sun. Then the south we are protected, but there's still sun coming through the window onto the street, and the western sun comes beautifully. In fact, the sun comes on the top of the stairs as well, late afternoon. So we've got this, whole sphere of sun movement on the sky translated into the house, giving you spectacular, it's a very photogenic object internally in terms of the light quality. So.
Cesare is the ultimate perfectionist. He just needs to relax, to forget those tiny imperfections and to enjoy his creation, which is, without doubt, one of the most spectacular modern homes in London.